Hi everyone. I'm just here to elaborate on the topic that I've gotten so many DMs and messages to elaborate on from Facebook. So I thought maybe I just come and tell you one on one what the process is like, because as I said on Facebook, the option to a church wedding is the AG's wedding or going to the AG's office, and it worked for me and my husband. It worked very well. So basically, the process that most people are asking about and have been DMing me about and wanting me to elaborate on is, how do you go about it? How long does it take? What do you need to have in place to be prepared for that process? So in a nutshell, it's a very simple process that, as at a preparatory level, should not take really more than a month or so. And I'm just talking from my own experience, so anyone is welcome to add their comments or correct me where I'm wrong. But in my own experience, what happened is that we made the application through eCitizen, which basically took a few days, only because we had to get this letter from the chief for me to provide kind of evidence that I wasn't cohabiting with another man or I wasn't married to anybody else. So that made it take an extra day or two, because of course having to go wait for the chief and get a hold of him and finally get him to write a handwritten note to that effect took a little bit longer. But otherwise, everything else on the portal was straightforward. It's about providing your identification as proof of that you're a Kenyan, filling in a form, some questions that you can expect around your marital status and your intentions to have this formal process happen. Um, Beyond that, just regular stuff, also having his particulars uploaded in the system, mostly scanning documents, and then uh, submitting that to the eCitizen portal. When that happens, within 2 days, I remember, we got feedback through a message, an SMS message coming through to tell us that our application had been approved. And so we were invited on a date, like it was 2 days after that, 2 or 3 days, to go to the AG chambers for an interview. So that's the next step, the formal interview. And you go, he has to be there. Like someone was asking me, does he have to be there? Because her husband is in Dubai and she's in Kenya, and so must he be around for that process? And the answer is yes. For the interview stage, you have to appear together in person with the original copies of the documents that you uploaded on the eCitizen portal. So yes, you go to the AG's chambers. Usually there are a number of people who also are lined up, but like there's interview slots for every couple. But of course, being Kenya, you expect a backlog, so the Nairobi office was kind of full and you end up waiting on the queue for a while. It's not very comfortable, but it's not very difficult either. You just have to be a bit patient. And once you're called, because you're already now on a list, because your application has been approved, so you're all called in turn to go in, present your documents, and then answer a few questions. Because we were both Kenyans, I think the questions were just formality. For example, where we met, our age, where we reside. It's like just basic questions to kind of affirm that we are real people who actually genuinely want to get married. Imagine for a case where your partner or one person is a foreigner, they probably will have a few more questions to ascertain that it's genuine. I know there are a number of people who have partners maybe who are abroad or who are white, and so there might be a need to kind of justify why you want to have this marriage in Kenya with a foreigner. I also got a question from a lady who wanted to know whether her fiance who lives abroad has to have some kind of proof or something to come and have this marriage in Kenya. I'm not sure, but I imagine that being a foreigner, he kind of has to have a demonstrated way of kind of proving, like he has to demonstrate that he has not been married or he's not married in his own country. So my immediate go-to would be, you probably want to think about him having a signed affidavit from his home country, or just find out from him what other documentation might help you prove that he is not married back in his country or she is not married back in her country. But somehow, it kind of has to be, there has to be a way of showing that, especially for ladies, that you are not already in another relationship. Otherwise, the interview is straightforward. Immediately after the interview, what happened is there's a payment that has to be made. It wasn't a lot of money. It was around, I can't remember the exact amount, but less than 2,000 shillings. It wasn't a big amount, a small amount of money that is paid via M-Pesa, so that then you're able to have that 21 days mandatory waiting period and then book a date. And so after that we made the payment, and after that is all at the AG's chambers on the day of the interview. After that, we had to now from that day have the 21-day mandatory waiting period, where it's just gazetted that you intend to marry each other. And basically, if anyone has a complaint, they need to complain within that period of time, so that any legal action can be taken. So yes, we waited for the 21 days, and after 21 days we went back now to book a date and that one, for going back to book a date, your partner doesn't have to be there. Only one person has to go, but we went together. Sorry for the baby. So basically we went, we were given a calendar, because some of the days are already booked out. So many people are going to the AG, so they're very busy with this process. So basically we picked a date that was open and that was agreeable to us and our witnesses. Yes, you have to have your two witnesses with you, probably a married couple already. Sorry. So after there's a payment for that as well, but again, it's a small payment, not more than 5,000. Overall, the whole process doesn't cost more than 10,000, more than 7,000 actually. It doesn't cost that much. So after that, we picked the date. We were given the time. After the 21 days, we just appeared with our witnesses, and we went and took our vows at the AG's chambers. It was very formal, very nice. It was COVID period, so we had all the masks on and everything, and that kind of dampened the mood. But otherwise, it was a really good process. I thought it was very easy, and it just took away the complexity of getting married in this country. And after that, we went for our photo shoot and for our party with friends and family. And I would recommend it for anyone who just really wants to get married and not want to have all the hula baloo and the complexity that comes with it. So in case you have any questions, please, you can just comment. And I'll be able to respond, and we can continue this discussion online. Thank you.